Hi everyone, Samantha here. Thank you so much for joining us on Linda's show today. I'm very excited to share my project with you, which is a steampunk flower made out of metal that I found at the hardware store. I had this great shopping trip at the hardware store a few weeks ago where I went up and down just about every aisle driving my husband Batty looking for the perfect stuff to create a craft out of. So I know it's hard for you to see here, so I'm going to switch down to Craft Cam so that you can see the supplies that I used, and I'll take you through this project step by step. Here's what you'll need in order to create our craft today. I found at the hardware store some 5x7 sheets of aluminum, and you'll need a pair of scissors that are able to cut through the aluminum, as well as a small pair of pliers, alcohol ink, and an alcohol ink applicator. And as you can see on my flower, I have a jewel in the center as well as some metal findings on the leaf here. So in order to glue those on, we are going to need to use a glue gun. Alright, so what I did first was I took a pencil and I roughly traced out what I wanted my flower to look like. Then I took my scissors and I trimmed around that flower. Now, when you're trimming around, you want to be careful because the metal can be sharp. And there we have it, our flower shape. Set that aside, and then with a pencil, trace out a leaf shape. So I just usually do something like that, and cut around it as well. And what we're going to do next is we're going to do our alcohol inking. So grab your applicator, and I'm going to be using a color called Pool, which is sort of a turquoise color, and a gold metallic color. Now with your metallic colors, you want to make sure to shake them up real well. Drop that on there, and then go ahead and cover your flower. Alright, once you have inked up your flower with the alcohol ink, you can go ahead and do the same thing with your leaf, keeping in mind that the majority of it will likely be covered with your metal findings. So just give it a nice coating of color as a background. What I did next was I took my flower and my pair of pliers and I grabbed each petal and I rolled it up. Like so. Now what you end up doing, I'm sure you're realizing, is that you're revealing the side of the flower that we haven't inked. So then what I did was I just took my applicator and I went ahead and just inked up that lip that we just folded up. Like so. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to grab our flower and our leaf, and we're going to put a little bit of hot glue on our leaf, and we're going to glue our flower onto it like so. Okay, and then what I did again was I just used my pliers to kind of roll up the leaf a little bit just to give it a little extra dimension there. Now I have this nice big rhinestone that I'm going to put in the center as well using hot glue. Just like that. There we go. And then what I do next is I cover my leaf with hot glue. And then I go ahead and I sprinkle on some of those metal findings that inevitably end up stuck to my fingers. Now, when working with hot glue, of course, it's important not to burn yourself, but you still want to work while that glue is warm. Of course, if it cools down, you could always add a touch more, which I'm going to do over here. And then just keep adding these metal findings. Now, what I like to do is I like scouring websites for lots of used watch pieces, and that's what I sort of collect, and then I distribute them on all of my projects. So here is a close-up of our flower with all of its beautiful steampunkness to it. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. Please let me know if you have any questions, and have a great rest of the week. Bye!